What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of No Client Agent Privilege, aka No C.A.P podcast. Tonight, we're here with a very special guest, Fulford, QB1 for LSE. He is finally home from his European adventures, and we're excited to have him on just to kind of give all of our viewers a glimpse of what it takes to be a pro quarterback at all levels, from making it from high school all the way to D3 national champ to now being a pro. D's going to give us a little insight, and we're going to talk a little ball too, kind of see how the game has changed in really just 5 years. Really, I mean, you weren't that far away from college that long ago. It really hasn't been that long of a time, and how different it's been even for you. So let's get into just a little bit how you got from, the slightly under recruited to winning a national championship to now we're here to pro. So give us a little bit about your high school experience down here, especially being a homegrown Florida boy like me and Will. So
yeah, man. So I wanted to originally stay home. So the university that I was committed to, they ended up pulling their offer 2 weeks before signing day. Right. So new head coach, they got 5 QBs on roster, new OCs bringing in a 6th quarterback. So the go JUCO, we'll re-offer you thing happened. Felt like I was falling through the crack. Went to one of those like college showcases.
Right.
Mount Union and multiple other D3 powerhouses and stuff were there. A couple D2 schools I tried to talk to, like, hey, we're not a second option, or we already got our guy. From when I was committed to the...
we're not the second option.
Right, so...
Quite literally are the second option.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the D2 and D2 stand for, but yeah, we'll skip that part. But anyways.
Yeah, man. So we ended up talking to one of the coaches at Mount and went on a visit to one other school, and they were like, don't go to Mount, they're a football factory, you're just going to get lost in the wash, things like that. And went there, started as a true freshman. The rest of the stuff there is kind of history. But then coming out of college, it was like I had the COVID class. So
right.
Draft day comes and goes. I get called in the 7th round. Think we're going to this team. They call back a couple picks later. They're like, we already got our guy.
Right.
Traded their pick away. Still wanted to bring me into rookie minicamp.
Right.
Got the same call from a couple other
hey,
6
keep
other
your phone
teams.
on you. Stay ready. Yeah.
And not even an opportunity, I guess, to like pick which team was the best option for me. And the day later, everything cuts down.
Right.
No rookie minicamp, no preseason. So that kind of hurt. I mean, 2020 was a wash year. 2021 was with BC Lions. Went into that with I got one workout, flew to North Carolina to do the workout because this is still COVID is still its thing.
You're not even getting in the building at this point, because it was the same for us. Like, we were making calls, but they're like, hey, unless you're vaccinated, unless you're approved by the league, unless you're all that stuff, you weren't even like getting a looked at, because at that time, like you just said, the workouts were so hard to come by in that class. The year later, they were still just like, oh, well, where do we go? Are we allowed to do this now? Are we allowed to bring guys? So I mean, that workout was probably the one of the few that even a guy like you got a shot to even be at.
But, oh no, like they were trying to cancel it because it was gonna rain, and I'm like, I'm a Florida quarterback, like
I'm used to throwing in this rain.
Yeah, like let's do it, bro.
I don't even know that we're from the land of hurricanes.
But yeah, so I went to BC Lions, had 4 weeks of training camp with no preseason games because it's their first year back from COVID.
Right.
So a guy like me, I can't really show. I mean, I can still be whatever you need me to be in practice, but to show what you're going to get from me in a game and something that would keep me on a roster.
Game reps there's nothing can duplicate game reps. You can practice as much as you want. You can have 10 weeks of preseason practice, but if you don't have game reps against a team that's legitimately trying to kill you, just like any other team, it's just not the same. So
yeah, and so people are going to look at, hey, like you just had practice film or you just had training camp film. It's like, yeah, but I'm showing you I can still do everything that you had me doing in college.
Right.
All right, so then 2022, I'm with the MLFB. That league implodes. Get 2 XFL workouts later that year. Think I'm going to be drafted. Don't get drafted into the XFL. They're like, go to
all the camp.
They told me go to an indoor team.
Indoor team, right? That's right.
Yeah, go to an indoor team. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. You know, let the other stuff weed itself out.
Talk about a fucking journey, man.
So, yeah, I ended up getting the call. I was only with Bay Area Panthers for 3 weeks. End up flying in to Vegas Vipers with them for the last 3 weeks of their season. And then
Big Chad
it was
and
like,
everybody. Same thing.
And then we think, all right, cool, XFL's going to come back.
Right, yeah, we're ready to rock and roll now.
Chop that one down, too.
Now we're down to 8 teams in one league instead of 16 teams in 2 leagues. And now, I mean, and I think kind of like, and we've talked about this conversation beforehand, like with regards to how the UFL kind of, they say they helped, it's going to be longevity-wise, it's going to be the best choice for it. But it's like, is it really? Like, just because you guys weren't competitive with each other, now you guys cut 8 teams of 52-man rosters, and then you go and try and say, oh yeah, we're picking the best of those leagues. But it's like, really, it's kind of like a lot of these coaches were just calling in favors. Like, it was like, hey, some of these guys were on this team, that team, and it's like, you should take him or you should grab him. Like, it wasn't really like scouted, I guess I would say. Like, I feel like a lot of it was just like, oh yeah, they were already on our team. Because I mean, there were some rosters that you could say that roster of the XFL team was better than the roster of that
absolutely.
USFL team. So it's like, really, were we picking the best guys, or were we just giving the teams, whoever had those roster or whoever had those teams, the benefit of the doubt to kind of, hey, here's your team, you're still alive, take who you want, or take, you know, if you don't want to lose anybody, take, and then grab some guys from the other leagues. So I don't know.
You said they cut teams.
Yeah, when that
when they
combined, but I'm saying they kicked out half the league or half of each league. So basically, you ended up turning one league from double the size or 2 leagues to double the size to the same size as one league.
400 guys plus player personnel plus.
Yeah, you talk about jobs in general, like coaches,
everybody
gone.
400, almost 600 people in total. Jobless.
Crazy. I mean, that's it. I mean, the industry as a whole, when it comes down to like comparison, like NFL stuff like that, it's just tough. Like, you're gonna always be compared to them. So it's like kind of like what the G League does. If you're not a developmental league, which is where I think the UFL should go, the route should be is a G League to the NFL. If I'm the owners of the UFL, I'm like, hey, take us under you, NFL. Right. Let us be your development.
There
league.
are some markets though that the UFL does do a good job of touching. Like I know those St. Louis games are always
because
packed.
there's no team in St.
Right,
Louis,
but
so
if they can put more teams in areas that maybe there once was a team,
right,
or maybe not Oakland, but if there was a team,
probably
or like
not Oakland,
where people actually want football, like maybe you know how popular football is in North Dakota, college football.
Sure,
maybe they could. Sioux Falls. They got
a G League team.
Yeah,
they sell out that
maybe
thing.
They could have a UFL team.
You could, and I think, but I think what it really comes down to.
Well, they want to generate more revenue,
but also talent. Like when you're trying to watch something that you love, you need to see the talent. And when you start cutting guys that are probably better or like didn't get really enough chance, aka a guy like D. And we've got to go somewhere across the world just to get our keep our game film alive.
Yeah.
It sucks because on film, you want to compare, but yet when we go numbers for numbers, they're relatively the same or better. And you're trying to sit there and justify your action by saying, oh, well, that was the ELF, that was practice, that was whatever it is that you want to say. So it's like, for me as the agent, and I know I'm biased with everything, but it's like, for me, when I go and compare and I talk numbers, I'm like, what else do you want from my guy? Like, how many conversations have I had to have with other teams like this? Like, what more do you want from us? Like, I bring them to the workouts. I tell them, hey, the coach wants you. They call me, and I'm doing everything that I can to get my guys where they ask. How many times do we have that one team call and say, hey, make sure he's at the workout? Yeah. Make sure he's at the work.
Like,
hey, we're there.
Just say you want me as the
just say you want a good quarterback that can throw the ball during a practice. All right, you want to be real. All right, at least say that, or at least pay us for our time, one or the other. Like saying, no, anything. Like at that point, like you might as well just be straight up with, oh, you already got your quarterbacks. Okay, well we cost $300 an hour to come throw for y'all for a workout. Like that's what y'all want to be real on. Let's do it that way, because at least we won't feel shafted at the end of our workout saying, oh, well, you wanted us here. Like, you called us to bring us in. Like, come on, man. Like, we want to be a part of your team. We're giving you the opportunity to watch us live. And now you're going to say, oh, well, that's not live. Like, that's that's practice reps.
The way I look at my ELF film is it just showcased I can still do everything that I was doing in college.
Right.
I wasn't going up against the latter half of the league. I was going up against 4 teams that were in playoff contention pretty much the entire time I was there. So, including the team who's defending champs and stuff. So, to go out there and, I know the scores are slided. I don't play defense, so I can't sit here. I don't point fingers at guys. That ain't that. But at least from knowing I still have the throwing ability that I have and still have my run ability where, like, shit, I can make something happen with my feet. God forbid something happens and I gotta eat
get out of there,
Right.
Well, then it's also age-wise. You're at the perfect age to where a team can still bring you in as a young guy to come and learn a system. Whereas, like, if you were like 30, 31, you're aged out as a quarterback. Like unless you were already in a system like a preseason camp of NFL, something like that. You're at the point where you're still moldable to a quarterback room where if you came in at this side, your few years of experience in the pros, it's still, okay, we can still mold him to where we need to go. So that's more of a benefit even for you at this point for your career because you're looked at as, damn, okay, he's not even 28 yet. Like, we still got a few more years to get him where we want him to be.
You got guys like Stetson Bennett that are like, what?
26? Or no, he's turning 27 this year. And he just started in the NFL. Perfect example.
Yeah, Bo Nix.
If you stay ready.
Yeah, Bo Nix, 26-year-old rookie, perfect example. Like, there's guys like this. So it's like, it's not unfathomable to, like, and I think the CJ Stroud and the Bryce Youngs of the world, like, 20 whatever, 23, 22, where you got your 3 years.
You're always going to have those.
You're always going to have those.
The whole, I got dinged with, he's not, like, I'm 6 foot tall quarterback, 6'1", in that range.
Right.
All right, well, I also lift. I'm not just like a regular quarterback build where I can't run Q power on a goal line or something like that. You went to a Division III college. Well, I played in the CGS showcase where I was able to go live and show, hey, I can make throws against guys from Michigan, Virginia Tech, Pitt.
CGS reaches out all the time to bring people in against all the hard schools.
Every time there's been like it's this, well, then I counter it with something else. Okay, you guys want to see me go under center for a full year and a half, work nothing but under center drops. So
pro style.
Now it's like, all right, well, where is the most growth coming from? It's coming from the personal side of like, all right, I had to figure out how the European guys see football.
Right.
Well, that too,
Things like that.
Completely different world there.
Are there any different rules at all?
There are some. I don't know how deep I'm allowed to get into talking about stuff over there, but the rules are pretty much the same. They just need to be more concrete on what's a rule they've seen on TV with the NFL and a rule that actually exists in that league.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a few things that differ, and it's more experience of the league itself.
I'm asking official, what's the difference between me diving and sliding? Because I understand if I slide and I'm sliding with my back on the ground, I'm giving myself up where I started my slide.
Right.
But if I dive forward, like I'm diving for a first down or something like that, I should be marked wherever I land first. And he's like, no, wherever you start diving is where we're going to mark you dead because Patrick Mahomes rule in the NFL. And I'm like, so how can you tell?
It's different.
This is a real conversation.
Yeah,
and he's looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, all right, so what's the difference between me sliding and diving? And he was like, okay, it's this, and this. And I'm like, all right, so if I dive and I dive for a first down or a touchdown in the end zone, you're going to mark me 2 yards short because I started diving? And he's like, well, no, then it's subjective on where you are. I'm like,
see, subjective should never come into play.
No,
when
it should be
to
a
rules.
clear cut.
It's done and done. So, but when we've had those conversations after games, how like the refs are calling this, that, and the other, and it's just, again, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, the league has a lot to grow. Like, if it wants to stay sufficient in the game of football, it is, it's great that they're trying to build the fan bases for all these leagues, and the NFL is trying to get into Euro and the NFL UK or whatever it is and stuff like that. But like, if they're trying to be kind of a groomer or trying to have homegrown talent, they need to be consistent, because you can't have guys that are just nonchalant coming over and being like, oh yeah, they didn't teach us that. You can't have that in the NFL. That's not how we played it. Like, no, that's how we play it. Like, don't start throwing that stuff over here.
Right.
So,
No, there's no crazy rules. I mean, you still
No.
got to have 2 feet in bounds.
Yep.
Found out that you have to have 2 feet. It can't be like 1 foot and 1 hand.
Oh,
my
I didn't know
receiver,
that.
My
Oh,
receiver
really?
had one of those where he had his right hand in bounds and left foot, and that should be
That's
two body parts in bounds. But
Right.
they said no because his
Wow.
What about a knee?
knee would count,
Like
but I
in-
guess his hand didn't, and
That's
that's what
weird,
we were trying
actually.
to figure out.
What game was that?
Frankfurt,
Frankfurt?
or not Frankfurt, but Cologne, the
Oh,
second
Cologne.
one,
Okay, the second one. I was gonna say I don't remember that one.
because they took a touchdown off the board,
Right.
and we kicked a field goal.
Okay, now I have to go back and look at that one. All right, I didn't even know that, but yeah. So I mean, and D, for you, now it's coming up to the point where we're kind of like, here we are, off season. Like, I mean, really, what's your mindset towards going into this, this season as to where you want to see yourself next year, and personal growth areas that you would want to tell a team that you're trying to work on and grow and do. I mean, I think the film, and we'll post the link to D'Angelo's highlights for the ELF season in this YouTube link, but you guys can go watch him there, because I think everyone can go and see the arm strength and arm talent are both there. The angles, everything a coach or a QB coach is going to be asking for, it's all there. So what is it you want to say to a team? I guess you at this point, UFL, even a P squad, type player for the for anybody that is looking for a quarterback. What's that thing that you believe you've heard the most in your career that you've worked on, and now we're at the point where it's like, I went to go to the highest pro level of this league. This is where I'm at now.
I think I'll just keep it simple and say that I'm ready. Like I know the work that I put in on the side has shown, and it's to go to this league this past year and be like, all right, the workouts I've been doing, the extra reps I've been doing when no one's looking, things like that have now translated into a game
Right.
3, 4, 5 years after I was playing college ball. So it's just a matter of time of, opportunities aligning with my experience. I think I'm at one of those places now where it's just like, it's only a matter of time. Like, I just got my feet wet this year.
Agreed.
Get a
Finally,
little
a full
off-season.
season. Finally, like,
Yeah,
been waiting for this for 2 years
got
now,
my
basically.
season, and it's like, now I get healthy. I can regroup a little bit and make the fine tune all the little mistakes and stuff.
What was the injury?
So right before the season, first day of training camp.
Oh yeah.
I'm running, and it's a normal thing, but non-contact. I like plant, and I somehow chip a piece of cartilage from the bottom of my femur.
Oh damn.
And they were
So
like, how
random.
do you do that and not tear your MCL, ACL, PCL, or any meniscus damage? They have no idea. Like, that's what, like, I was in Innsbruck, so they
Might
had
have
the
got lucky.
top knee doctors in the world, because they had the ski
Right.
ski capital.
Oh,
of the world.
okay.
But people fly in from all over to get worked on by this doctor, and he had me in and out of surgery. Gives me a piece of my fucking cartilage in a
There's
vial.
already a vial of his cartilage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's just like, yeah, man,
Right.
they tried to hide from me, but
He sends
no
me a
worries.
picture and he goes, "Look what I have." I
You
go,
still have
"What?"
it?
Yeah, it's in my house. But yeah, they went in, found this piece, scoped it out. They were like, you could have been out for 3 months with reconstructive, but given that you have an exercise science background, like, that's what my degree's in, I know
Right.
how to rehab correctly, plus all the extra stuff. Like, I was running a week after surgery with the stitches still in.
Oh damn.
And they're
It
like,
felt good.
like, the only thing that hurt was the stitches, like, tugging.
Rugged,
Right.
yeah,
So-
pulling the skin.
Once I got those out, I mean, I had like a week and a half of practice before the first game, and then I was full go. But I only was out a week. I was out 10 days because I had to wait 10 days for the stitches to come out.
Right. When you first get over there for camp? When did your camp start?
Camp started,
March,
no, April.
April. And
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
got back, right?
Well, I went there. I was there for 6 weeks in Innsbruck, then back here for 3 weeks while I was
Okay.
released from that team, and then
Rechanged and re-signed.
went back out there for another month and a half, almost 2 months,
Yeah.
and then just got back last week.
So aside from the team, how did you do? Or how do you think that you did this season?
Has it been your best season, you think, since
Oh.
college?
I mean,
individually?
I don't think, no, not by any means in terms of my standards and what I'm used to. I was straight up threw way too many picks, and you can cut that up however you want as far as, like, yeah, I had a play or two where I was like, all right, got me on that rotation. Dude made a great play on the ball, but there's a lot of them that were, all right, I think a curl route is breaking back towards me, breaks down a stem.
Yep.
Or so I throw the ball inside.
Yeah.
Little simple thing. Or we're running scramble drill, and I think a guy's gonna continue running flat, and he breaks it up the field as I'm letting the ball go, and it's like, damn, like
Saw that one.
you know. So things like that happen, and it's like the more time you have with your teammates and repetition you get. But we only had 2 practices a week,
Right.
so 2 practices, not getting
That's it.
everyone there all the time is like, yeah, bro. I mean, like I said, I'm not an
different.
excuses guy.
But see, you would never go even at the UFL level. You're not having 2 practices a week. At least not full on.
You're having
practice.
at least 3
Three
with a
FAU
4.
practices every day.
Well, that's college, and they can schedule it out like that. Where they talk pros, a lot of those guys have other jobs and stuff like in the ELF part. So like this is. A lot of them don't like, so that's where that's where
why
you're
I learned
lucky.
the most as far as like growth wise and learning how the European guys see football.
Right.
And that's not to say that some of them don't take it very seriously, but there are some that like I've been playing ball since I was 8 years old down here, so it's in my blood. Like, but for them it's like, oh well, this was a hobby I picked up.
Yeah, I got good at it. I'm okay at it. I'm better than a lot of guys in Europe. Let me just go play for the pro team that we have, make a little money.
But
they pay for you. They pay for like room and stuff like for you to live
the
there.
Imports,
Yeah, for them, yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
Because they don't have
the rest of them are
they all live there. They get stipend. Do the local guys get stipend for that for living?
Local guys,
Yeah,
like the homegrowns.
Yeah, they get anything? No. I mean, again, that's a different. But see, that's where I think where the pro side comes into like the difference. Like those guys, I would not say, not to be mean to them, but I do not consider a lot of those guys who are having secondary jobs or other stuff going on with regards to other, not passions, but like other priorities other than football. You would never go to an NFL team, find a guy who's the star player, and say, "Oh yeah, I bartend on the weekends." Like,
it's all
welcome
football.
to my world, bro.
Yeah,
like that's what
football.
I do. I don't have a choice, but you would, because they pay so well, they don't want you to do anything else. They want you to live, breathe, eat the team, live football, love football. That's it, and that's why.
You got like even on both teams I was on, I had police officers that were teammates, and they're getting off a 24-hour shift, coming straight to practice, going home,
that is
sleeping
crazy.
for 3 hours, getting back on another 24.
That is insane to me.
Wow.
And then like
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's
crazy. You get a mix of guys that are in university as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like your running back was really young, wasn't he? The one running back, he was like a
both of them.
Yeah, both of them, right? Yeah.
19, 20 years
I was
old.
gonna say they were young.
Are more universities over there, if you know, starting to have football teams? American football teams?
Good
it's
question.
more like in Great Britain they do that, where like you can go, you can get your master's degree and they'll just pay you to play football basically.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that either. I mean, that's a good question. I never thought of that either, because I know the NFL has the NFL UK that tries to do their little funnel system. I know the guy that played for the Panthers, the defensive end. I forget where I think he's with the Command.
The IPP program.
Yeah. So it's like they found him. He was like Nigerian British, and then they brought him over, and he did really well at the UK combine, and they brought him in, and like every team gets like 2 of those every year.
Okay.
So it's like if you have like find somebody in Britain or Germany or something like that, they'll allow you, the NFL, to bring them in.
I mean, if the NFL wants to expand, why not?
Yeah, I mean, at this
throw
point,
some money overseas and have them start up a couple American football teams. I mean, for college.
There are a couple kids, even in Brazil. I mean, for the most part, like a lot of kids that I coach have come to me from the Brazilian side and been like, "Yo, we played American football in Brazil," and I'm like,
"Oh, it's always
really?
the craziest thing ever, seeing kids out there and they're not kicking a soccer ball around, they're throwing a football.
Crazy
football
at recess.
That's what I'm saying. Like that.
Like random little kids, like no one's telling them to go do that. They picked through a bag of different like basketballs and everything and just picked out a football.
I also
said we're throwing this today.
I also think that it's different from us culture wise. Like you go to university to get better, whereas like when you turn 18, you go pro to get better, like in Europe and stuff.
Oh,
for
yeah.
for like basketball,
Even
soccer.
before that.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you're on a club team when you're 15, 16 at soccer, you're
But
probably
that's
pretty
how
good.
it works in soccer, though. You
Right.
have to.
Well,
Otherwise,
exactly. But
they
see,
know that you're
you
not
would
good.
never see a 16-year-old on a NFL team or on a college team. You know, even
No.
like it's a big deal if you're on a in a private school and you get
But you
to
will
go.
see a 27-year-old rookie quarterback.
You definitely can. You definitely can nowadays. So it's like, where does the league really see itself in the future with an ELF type league? I mean,
The way I see it, and if they
what do
do
you
it,
think?
if they do it right, ideally, what would happen? Because you're not gonna. I don't think. Just like there's the NBA, and it's like, yeah, there's some really good European leagues. They're not
Right.
gonna overtake the NBA.
right.
CFL, LFA, and ELF, if they get their stuff together, like the ELF and the LFA,
Yeah.
they could very easily in a couple years be competing with CFL in terms of
International growth.
just talent levels.
Really?
'Cause, yeah, I mean, if you're even watching like the flag league that
Right,
are going
right.
now, bro, the Austrian teams are beating everybody. The
Yeah,
German teams
they're
are
really good.
yeah,
Like they are
Now,
as
when
good
they
as Team
come play
USA.
now when they come play Team
Right.
USA and you see a score that's beating them by 20 points, bro, they're beating everybody else by 20 points.
Right, exactly.
So, and I know that because I was down there training them. For
Right,
a couple,
right.
Like I trained them for a weekend. Like they got some serious talent. They pick up stuff fast. If people forget, like, I mean, my biggest saying is experience is something you don't get till you need it the most.
Right.
When you give them some like good coaching or some good information that clicks for them,
Yeah, something that they can
lock it in,
recognize like
and
that.
but you don't ever have to tell them.
Nope.
Again.
Nope.
And there's no back talk. There's
Again,
no. It's
cultural
just
differences. Cultural differences. I think that'll be if there's a succession of change of guard between the CFL and who becomes the next funnel league to the NFL, because the NFL will always be the NFL.
Yeah.
But like the next funnel league is still kind of up for grabs, even to the UFL. They
so
should
like
be.
You're gonna have the UFL, and then you'll have.
But the UFL still has a lot to
CFL,
prove.
ELF and
Like,
LFA.
Yeah, the UFL does still have a lot to prove.
Like I mean, as much as the league has grown, they still have to keep growing, continually. I mean, every
Or
time
they go the G League route.
that's what I've said it once. I'll say it again. If they don't, that's
But
on
they'd
them.
probably sell it. They'd probably sell the league.
Well, you
to
sell the
NFL at
rights,
that point.
but you sell the rights, but you keep ownership. You keep the UFL the UFL. Like you
Right.
just sell the rights to, hey, D'Angelo was our quarterback for the Brahmas. We're the affiliate to the Dallas Cowboys. This Brahmas can pick, or the Cowboys, the Texans, and
They can send players up and down.
New Orleans can
So
all
you're-
pick from the Brahmas to pick one or two guys every year
But
to
then-
move up and down, just like the NBA does with their two-way contract.
Right.
So
but then
that's
would
my
you
thought.
have
At
something
least.
where it's like, okay, so how would you do that with your bubble guys that are maybe P squad, maybe have to go down a week?
Well,
Like, because if I'm
that's the
P
hard-
squad, I'm not playing.
Well, so that becomes
I'm not
a money
risking-
thing.
Yeah.
That becomes a money thing. So like, if you're gonna have P squad guys and say that they're only P squad guys, you got to pay them better than the UFL guys, no matter what. So you can't come in, and what'll hurt the UFL if they don't come in with the collective bargaining agreement with the NFL that says our guys are paid as P squad guys. That way, nobody cries about when they get sent down to the UFL
Right.
and get hurt.
That makes sense.
You have to have all that shit written
Yeah.
out and pen and
It's
paper.
definitely a lot to
There's
go-
so
go
much.
through,
There's so
yeah.
much. I'm just saying, in regards to the future aspects of the league, that's where they should lean towards if they want something to be progressive with regards to expansion, easy expansion, without having a headache of new owners, billion-dollar team, blah blah blah, all that other stuff. Where people do want to buy teams, they do want to buy sports. So
So
it's
it
like
adds to the value
Of
of
course.
teams also.
exactly. So there is a lot to it, but for you, I mean, I think we've got a workout up in Orlando coming up. UFL, be ready. We're coming. We're gonna be there. I'm gonna pay your stupid fees, but we're gonna be there. So don't worry about it. You'll get your money. Just be ready to throw. All right. So
No, why didn't you think you never thought about transferring?
From Mount.
Yeah.
Long story short, Broward County court systems take a long time to clear somebody from something they didn't do. But I got
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but
I see. Nice.
yeah, right.
Nice.
That's
So-
classic.
So
That's a classic.
so yeah, but basically,
Nice.
long story short, I had a felony case brought against me. Took them 1.5 years to say no, prosecute. Sorry, we had the wrong guy. And dealt with
And that
it
was up
from-
there.
Dealt with it. Well,
That was up there
from
that happened?
something from down here.
From down here,
before
yeah.
my senior year of high school at Miramar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, like I said, it took them 1.5 years to say sorry, we had the wrong dude. The problem is that there was never any actual evidence against me or on me. It's
They
just the one name on the team that everybody knows is the quarterbacks in high school. So
That was it.
my name got thrown into that list of stuff, and yeah.
Wow.
So from November of senior or sophomore year to spring of senior year, I had to deal with people bringing like my mugshot on a fat head to games, and yeah, like my wanted poster at the national championship was
You still won, right?
yeah.
Yeah. That must have been a good feeling.
Well, they brought it out 2 years. So I won once against that team, and I lost one against that team.
Okay.
But yeah.
So did you talk to other schools still, or you couldn't?
I had something set up with Florida my sophomore year when I was 50 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions, won the Natty.
That was at Miramar. Or that was at.
No, that was at Mount.
At Mount,
I won
yeah.
the national championship, and then we talking to Florida. Had some stuff set up with my uncle, and basically they were like, well, "What's all this? Well, I
Yeah.
just showed you."
Yeah.
Like,
Now
we
looking
can't
back
bring him
on it,
in, can't bring him in
he's
with.
a saint compared to the other guys they brought in.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what?
I don't know what they're crying about.
I don't know.
I got a documentary that you can watch. It's called Swamp Kings.
I guess it's one of those things where it's like, if they're already on the inside, like my mind is going to Jameis Winston right now at FSU.
No, perfect.
You want to protect your guys that are on the inside,
Yeah.
but if they're on the outside, then it's like good
Of course,
luck
that's how
to
it
you.
always. It's
You know what I
that's
mean?
everybody
Like, it's-
anywhere. It's any organization that wants to say, "Oh, we protect our guys."
It's just crazy because
Same
like
shit.
somebody like you who is clearly very very good, like that's like an understatement, right?
I'm just
the
saying-
stats speak for themselves. So it's like the fact that they still didn't want to take a chance and be like, you know what, all right, like if you're obviously you explain the situation to them. So,
Well, yeah, that's what. So it's like
That's
when I
what
was
kill-
talking
that's
to
what always
teams,
kills
I
me.
always made sure like I was ahead. Like I was talking to the Cowboys, and I'm like, they're like, all right, so is there anything you want to let us know about? And I'm like,
because they know.
well, yeah.
They already know.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't no secret. You Google my name, you see a picture of me holding a national championship trophy, and you see my mugshot. So it's like, for me, I always explain that up front, so it's not like you're sitting there
Yeah.
surfing a late night web
Well-
and you seeing all these. Because it was funny for years, they were just using my name as clickbait. Top school in the country, we're winning a bunch,
Right, yeah.
and every time we beat somebody, they're just like, "Oh, he's not taking it serious
Right,
because
of course.
he's playing football." So
Well, Here's the other thing too, like that. Speaking of that, and this is just for future clients in general. Just and they already knew that answer. They wanted to. They were testing him to see if he was going to lie about it. There's no team in the NFL that doesn't know. They have a guy, the head of security for every team. They go in and they find everything. They know everything from your middle school, elementary school days if you got in trouble. So, to any clients or anybody in the future looking to go to LSE, trust me when I tell you, don't ever lie. They already know. They're testing you. So, that's my little jab for the week.
Yeah, bro.
Trust me, they already know. They just want to see what you're gonna do about it.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know.
It's not- I mean-
That's very interesting.
yeah,
It's the whole situation is very interesting. I don't know because like I said, there's just been other cases
way worse.
worse.
Yeah.
Like
For-
I said,
for-
we
it was
know,
al-
we
it was
know.
already dealing with he's the 6 foot tall D3 guy,
Oh, that
but
too.
then it was like now it's this giant.
Well, we're always
elephant
gonna have
with my
that.
name and stuff.
We're always gonna have that, the D3 quarterback, like blah blah
Oh,
blah. Like that's,
Anybody that actually knows football, once I'm like, yeah, I went D3, but I went to Mount Union. They're like,
Oh yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
I understand.
Wait,
Now-
you never? No. He went Mount something else.
One of my coaches from high school, well, I mean, PE coach, he went to Adrian College.
I know what
Really?
you're talking about.
Yeah.
He won 2 national championships with them.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Curtis Roden.
No.
Nah, he's in one of the, I think he's in the Air Force now.
Okay, I was gonna say
So-
not. Then you went to Somerset though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was PE coach there and track and
Yeah.
football.
Yeah.
not head coach,
That's
but
how you gotta. Hey, that's how you gotta make it. In
Yeah,
pizza.
yeah,
You gotta do
yeah,
all. You
that's-
gotta
that's
do
what he
all
was
this. You gotta do
doing,
all
said
this.
that's
Like,
like baby blue and dark blue, or the other one that's like burgundy.
and
no,
Somerset,
No,
no, because there's so many
there's so
Somersets
many
down
Somerset.
there.
This one's different. It's in Boynton. It's
Mine's
Somerset
yeah,
Canyon.
it's
Okay.
north
It's
of
up
here.
Yeah, it's up here.
Gotcha.
It's like
it's newer
it's
too.
green
It was, I
and
think
green
it
and
had-
blue.
Wait,
Somerset Canyons.
Did it
I'm
open?
thinking
2013.
Somerset Prep.
Yeah, you're thinking of Somerset.
2013.
Yeah, it didn't open until 2013.
Yeah, and they had Somerset Pines down there too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Didn't they just play each other, Somerset and Somerset Pine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do like every
Yeah,
year. I
that's
think
funny.
something like that. Yeah, like every year they try to set something up.
Somerset,
like a
Somerset
yeah,
versus Somerset.
yeah.
There's so many Somersets, but yeah, I
it's
mean,
crazy.
I'm excited for this season, mostly just because I finally, I mean, other than we always discuss like, what do I send to teams, or how do I talk to teams when they always ask me, oh, where's this film? Where's this film? It's so comfortable now to like reach out and finally be like, here it is. Here's what you asked for. Here's your film. Go take a look and tell me I'm wrong.
It's not like my thing. I think that I'm most
That's my
comfortable with this tape that I put out now is it's not a highlight reel, it's a film reel.
Right.
You can see it's not just highlights of where slow mo's and bro. It's like straight clips of just
Play after play.
throw. Like, all right, cool. This is exactly what I'm bringing to the table now.
Yeah, it's so much.
No more huddle.
Yeah, I love Huddle. I still watch Huddle at school sometimes.
You got yours?
Well, I mess with the boys.
We use Huddle out there.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just clip
Yeah.
some of the plays from there, some of them from
That's smart.
YouTube, or some of them from the Game Pass and stuff.
That's smart.
What time? You good?
2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
All right,
So,
perfect. We nailed that one.
yeah.
So, all right, we'll do our last shebang. All right, D, give the people, what are your words of wisdom from your experiences? What is it that you want to tell all the young kids and the guys that are going to be journeymen and are, going to have those bumps and bruises? What is it that kept you going? And what is it that you would tell them to keep them going?
Well, first would be like, what if it goes right? I don't know. That's not. I've always been. I've always been one of them dudes. Like, man, what if it goes right? So like, you just putting in all this work, and then you get your opportunity, because eventually, all these hours and hours of work and gaining experience is gonna collide with some opportunity, and you're gonna hit it out the
Years
park.
of work.
So for me, I mean, this was kind of something where for 2 or 3 years now, I got tired of being the guy on the bench or being the second or third option when I know I could be the guy. And my career kind of needed new tape. So I bet on myself, took a journey out to Europe, got to play a kids game for free, and, got to, continue living, I guess, a football dream as far as like I get paid to play a kids game, and it took me around the world. So forever grateful for that. I definitely created some core memories, and now it's like, all right, well, what's the next thing to block off? So yeah, man, I'm ready to go.
Yep. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, you guys gave me the excuse. I know my Europe trip didn't get to turn out the way I wanted it to be. We had a bump and bruise there, but I still enjoyed the opportunity to be out there. But it was only because of you guys. Like, if you and Chad weren't out there, I would have never had that opportunity to even think about coming to see my guys, the guys who literally wear my name, our logo, on their chest, on their back, and they have enough faith in me. Like, I don't get to do that everywhere. Like, so having guys like you around the world to do that just, again, kind of puts the emphasis of why I did this in the first place, why we do this in the first place. And, again, I can't thank you enough to, you'll always be QB1 for me. You're, first and foremost, the first QB we've ever had. So you'll always be QB1 at LSC. So go ahead, Will.
I mean, I was just gonna say it's your own journey too,
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why we do this. I mean, I think the kind of like what you said, like, you get to follow your dream, whether it's the kid's dream or the grown-up's dream. You got to be the one to go out and find it. If you can't find it, then what are you living for? I mean, not to say that it's not worth living, but like, life's already short enough. If you're not going to chase your dream, what are you doing with your life? So, I mean, it is what it is, and that's why this is so important to me. Like, this, bringing you guys on to have these opportunities to tell your story, even as we grow and get subscribers. I hope they come in and go scroll down to see who we do represent and why we represent them, like storylines. Like, it's it's part of the journey. It's all what I wanted to do from high school, and just like you guys, just wanted to be pros in high school, and it is what it is. So, Will, any last thoughts? Yeah, I think we covered it.
I think we covered everything.
I think D will be on another episode or two, and we'll just talk ball more so than the actual journey.
Chad back down here.
Well, yeah, that too.
Two opposite sides of.
We'll see and finally having local guys too. Like with you gone, Chad was gone. Like I did my interview with Chad in Potsdam, so it's like having guys around will be a lot better, especially when Wyatt and Travis they get out of the season. They're at FAU and FIU, so we'll have a whole offensive. We could go film talk for the next hour on offense. Yeah, we would have a sick offense. Now that I think about it, between Travis and Chad at tackle, Wyatt at tight end, and him at quarterback, we might be able to do something on 7-on-7. Honestly, we might never. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, that's another conversation we'll have. But for us, Will, D'Angelo, and I, thank you so much for joining us. This is No Client Agent Privilege, aka No Cap Podcast, and we'll see you next time.